And welcome again to Cottage Talk. I am Russ Goldman. This is my match reaction, my 5 takeaways from Fulham's 1-0 loss to Manchester United on Saturday at Craven Cottage. A very disappointing result. I guess you could say it's rinse repeat from last season. It's something we have seen a great deal, unfortunately, against Manchester United with Fulham. So it's disappointing. And I will share my thoughts on that in my 5 takeaways. As always, please do subscribe on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. It does help Fulham supporters find us. Before I get into my 5 takeaways, I do want to mention a thank you to everyone that did participate in the protest on Saturday about ticket pricing. I think it was something worthwhile to do. Hopefully, it made a statement to the club. Only time will tell. But thank you, everyone that participated, and a big shout out to Fulham Lilies and, of course, the Fulham Supporters Trust who put on the protest. And I do hope it made a mark. Like I said, we'll see if it did, but thank you to everyone that did participate at Craven Cottage on Saturday. Okay, well, let's get to it. Let's get to my 5 takeaways in this disappointing 1-0 loss for Fulham. And it is disappointing because I don't know how many times I have to see it against Manchester United. Fulham play well. They deserve something and they get nothing. It happened last season. It happens again. However, my number 5 is a little bit different. Now, we've seen a lot of calls go against Fulham. We've seen it. We've seen things go against them, calls just going against them, just in general. So it's really nice to see a VAR call go in Fulham's direction. In this case, it did. Fulham get a break on a VAR decision. That's my number 5. So what I mean by that is, again, if you watch the commentary, they said this was a subjective decision, an offside decision. And it involved Harry Maguire, his situation. And they took a lot of time looking at it. And I've seen some comments from a former ref who said this was the right call. And if you look at it, it is the right call. It absolutely is the right call. Goal initially counted. They go to VAR and it gets overturned. And thankfully it did. The referee took a look at it and overturned the call. And that's the end of that. But it is nice that Manchester United, Liverpool, all the big clubs don't just get all the calls. Fulham get a call. It's the right call. But sometimes I feel that even when it's the right call, it doesn't go their way. Well, in this case, it went their way. So that was actually a positive to get out of this because I am a proponent for VAR. It has been hit or miss this season, more miss than hit. And I think it's important that VAR work, and it needs to improve. It absolutely needs to improve a tremendous amount. And I think it's only going to help the game. I'm one that actually wants VAR. But it's been pretty obvious that it really has been difficult at times with VAR. But this was the right decision. This is why VAR is there, for a decision like this. This is the right call. Normally, that would have been a goal for Manchester United. And without VAR, that's a goal. VAR took this away because it was the right call. I want them to get the right calls. That's why I want VAR. I just wish it was 100%. It certainly is not 100%. They need to keep working at getting their calls right on VAR decisions. But I think in this case, they got it right. The Manchester United supporters might not feel that way, but this was the right call. And that's why that's my number 5. Number 4, and this is an obvious one. The margins are very slim against Manchester United. They're very slim against the big 6 clubs. You could say even the top half of the table clubs. You need to be knocking them out. Think of it as a boxing match. You don't want it to go to points. You don't want it to go to the referee decision. You need to knock them out. So when you have a chance to knock them out, you need to knock them out. And Fulham did not do that in this match. They didn't do it last season. You leave yourself open to a situation where you are going to get beat at the very end. It happened last season at Craven Cottage, happens again. But when you have this opportunity, you have to capitalize. Fulham did create some opportunities, but it wasn't enough. You have that period when you're dominant and you didn't score and it comes back to bite you. They get the late goal on mistakes by Fulham, but you know what? They still scored that goal. Bruno Fernandes took advantage of the opportunity and scored the goal. If the roles are reversed, does a Fulham player score the goal? I don't know because they haven't shown it enough. And that really is the difference. Their quality players can make the difference. We need our quality players to score in crucial situations. I don't know. I love João Palhinha. Great opportunity. Maybe if he hits it a little bit left or a little bit right, not right at the goalkeeper, we have a different story. We get something from the match. And that's what I think Fulham deserve, because the margins are so close here that just a moment, just a slight moment from Manchester United takes it all away from Fulham. They didn't deserve it. They didn't deserve to win, but they deserve to get something out of the match. It's that tight. It's that tight. You have to capitalize when you get an opportunity like this against a team like Manchester United, who was down, missing players. Wonderful opportunity. And Fulham did not take advantage of it. They needed to do more than enough to get something out of this, and they simply did not. That's why these margins against these teams are so slight. They're so slim that you need to do more than enough to get something out of it. And they certainly did not. They did not. So that's why you have the result that you have. You need to knock the opponent out. And Fulham didn't do it. Okay, let's go to number 3. Is it time for Marco to bench a few regular starters? So I've been thinking about this a lot. I'm going to name 2 players now. One actually has been benched prior, but I think it might be time to really change things up. And another player I think needs someone else to get a shot. I'm going to name 2 players. Is it me, or is it time for Andres Pereira to have significant time coming off the bench and move Alex Iwobi to the number 10 role? I think it's time to move Alex Iwobi to the number 10 role. I think Fulham's best 3 would be Palhinha, Lukic playing the role that Iwobi played, and have Iwobi playing the role that Pereira played. I think it's time for Andres Pereira to sit. I truly believe that. I don't think he's the same player from last season. And Alex Iwobi is very quickly becoming one of your best players. Put him in a role where he can really take over a match. I think he's ready for that number 10 role. I do. I think he was fine in the role that he was in, but I think he would be even better in that number 10 role. I think that's his role with Fulham Football Club. Another player I want to mention that I want Marco to consider, I don't think he will, but I think it's time to give Foda Ballatore a shot at left back. And Jedi, I've been going back and forth for several seasons with him. He's proved me wrong big time last season, big time. But then I see the shortcomings and I don't see the improvement. His crosses are just woeful. They are woeful. There was one cross, a great opportunity to set Fulham up, and it was just horrendous. And it happens over and over again. And his pace is a huge part of his game, and he can really show it. But then there are times where he stops and he goes back, and he'll kick the ball back. And I'm thinking, just go forward, use your pace, go forward, go towards the byline. And he doesn't do that. He tends to get a little bit conservative at times. It's safe. Whereas he has all this pace. He has the ability to go forward, but maybe he just feels like us. Maybe he feels that his crossing isn't the best, but he needs to continue to work on this. It just isn't good enough. And he does have defensive lapses as well. I think it's time to give Foda Ballatore a shot starting a match in the Premier League at left back. I like Jedi. I'm not saying that Foda Ballatore should be your starting left back the rest of the season. I'm saying give him a chance. Let him play in a Premier League match. Let him start a Premier League match. It's time to bench 2 regular starters, Andres Pereira and Anthony Robinson. I'm saying it right now. Marco should really consider this. Talking about giving players a chance, give Foda Ballatore a chance, and also give Alex Iwobi more of a chance at the number 10 role in several matches. I think it's time to bench these 2 players. Not permanently, but at least for a game, maybe more than that. That's just how I feel coming out of this match. Number 2, going back to what I'm talking about, is this. Alex Iwobi continues to thrive in central midfield. He really is. And I think his best role is the number 10 role. Besides Bern Leno and Paulinho, I think he's number 3 of important players right now for Fulham Football Club. He offers so much energy, but skill. The only thing that he's lacking right now is a finishing touch, really. He's just, at times, I think his shot isn't the greatest. But you know what? He offers so much more to the team. And I think in the number 10 role, he would really thrive. He is thriving. And I think that he needs that role. For me, Alex Iwobi continues to thrive in central midfield, but I want him in the number 10 role. That's what I want. Nothing against Andres Pereira, but I think Iwobi's past him. That's why I was very impressed with him, and he continues to just get better and better in Marco's system, and I think the sky's the limit for Alex Iwobi. I think he's loving playing, again, for Marco Silva. That's why that's my number 2. Coming up next is my number 1 takeaway from this 1-0 loss for Fulham against Manchester United. Okay, to finish up the show, my number 1 is this, and it's simple. Rinse, repeat with the striker situation. I have to say it, okay, because it's going to continue to show itself, and I'm going to continue to talk about it because I'm so upset that they did not get a striker to take the place of Mitro this summer. It shows itself in almost every single match. Honestly, if Mitro's in there, I think Fulham win this match. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I think it's the truth. They do not have someone that can fish. Now, I want to give Rodrigo Muniz a lot of credit. I thought he played very well until he got injured, and hopefully he's not out for a long period of time. Because right now, I think he might be your best option as a striker right now. As a hold-up striker, I think he is better at this point than Carlos Vinicius. I want to see Rodrigo Muniz play again, starting again, if he's healthy. I really do. But the problem you have is that you do not have someone that other clubs are threatened by. They were threatened by Mitro. They're not threatened by Raul Jimenez, Carlos Vinicius, and Rodrigo Muniz. If there's a threat there, it opens things up for other players. It really is a domino effect because I think then you see the wingers being more active. If you have that threat, that striker threat, everything can really work off that. They don't have it right now. So teams really do not, in my opinion, really worry about the striker with Fulham Football Club. They feel that they can handle it. And then they can worry more about the players in central midfield and the wingers. Take them away. And that's possibly why you are not seeing so many goals, is because they don't respect any striker that Fulham put out there. And that causes this huge ripple effect throughout that starting 11 because they know that they've got that taken under control and they can really then focus on the other positions and not really worry about that striker. If Mitro's in there, they have to worry. They might have to play or mark him. They might have to really be concerned about him throughout the match. Are they really concerned about any option that Fulham put out there? Manchester United really concerned about Rodrigo Muniz. Now, he did a good job, but are they game planning for him? The answer is no. You had to game plan for Alexander Mitrovic. You don't have to game plan for any of these guys, so you worry about other positions, and that's what's going on here. And I think that's why Fulham are stifled going forward because the other teams don't respect the striker position. And that's very sad. And I hope that they take care of this in January, because I think that is, as I heard on another podcast, the missing piece. If you get the striker that teams need to respect, I think that opens everything up. Right now, the other teams do not respect the striker position. And that's the end of that. And it'll continue to go on until we get to January, unfortunately. Okay. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Cottage Talk. As always, please do subscribe on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. It does help other Fulham supporters find us. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. My name is Russ Goldman. Thank you, as always, for watching and listening to Cottage Talk, part of the talkSPORT Fan Network.